Okay, so it's nearly 2 o'clock in the morning on Monday. I almost said Tuesday. Monday, the 19th. And yesterday, well, I don't want to count the anniversaries of when certain days happen, but my firstborn was born on a day called yesterday. So, anyways, that's just a thing. But I have a whole bunch of stuff going in my head, and I don't even really know where it is I'm going with it. So it just feels super random. So I'll see what it is. What is the motivation this morning for what I'm going to talk about? The one thing is I just saw this video. This guy, he kind of cracks me up all the time, but he is always talking about like how weird things are. So he said now there's a whole bunch of people reporting the stars are moving because they're not stars. Like people think like it's not what there's nothing that we've been told like the stars in the sky. Like when I had asked before, it was and I don't know, this is just how I look at it, but when I was younger, there was zillions of stars in the sky. There were so many. And it's like, and we'd go outside and there'd be zillions of lightning bugs everywhere. It was like a different time. But it is, now I look out there and it's like, it's so much less of the stars. And anyways, in my head, I was saying something. I was asking, but I was like being shown like that is the souls. They're all souls. They're just like watching that they were, it was like a lot waiting to be birthed or something. And like they're coming in to be birthed. And the, which I find like a shooting star and stuff like that, like our energy. And I heard a thing yesterday where it was talking about our birthing process, and that at the moment of birth is when our soul connects to the avatar experience or something, which the other day there was what are those things called? Those field crop circle. It was a big elaborate crop circle that popped up overnight, of course. And I know there has been people who always believed like that stuff was man-made. So many things where it's just like, how does that make more sense to your brain? Like, it's so weird. Think outside the box because that makes more sense. I've never understood it. Like, no, we're gonna make it make sense. It's like it does. Yeah, I mean, I'm not crazy. Like I've listened to people sit there and tell me, oh no, how the pyramids were made and all this shit. It's like, the fuck? You do anything you can to make sure that there's no other beings involved in anything except for what it is that you believe reality is. It's so weird. It's like you gotta think outside the box. And so this crop circle that was just done, I just saw a guy doing this whole breakdown of the sacred geometry that is involved in all the symbolism in it. And it is symbolic. It has the Celtic cross in it. I think that's what he said, the Celtic cross. And it has a bunch of symbols, but how it represents the spiritual journey into matter or something in it, and everything is to find yourself. I'm telling you, it's to go into a different vibration to find yourself, because finding yourself is like the gift. And then I saw this was a different guy, and he was talking about the ages, and he said something about what if we already are in the golden age and it was all buried, and then there's like some old like prophecy or something, and it's called the little season. And so in the little season, it was an opportunity before the main reset to go in and find yourself. And anyways, he was explaining it longer than that and stuff, but I was like, oh, that totally makes so much sense, because I have said, like, this reset that they've done is smaller. Like this, I think they started, I don't know, maybe 100 years ago on this reset. It's like for this little season, which is all about this finding ourselves. Because think about how much horrific shit has happened. So much war, so much fighting, so much perversion. There's a whole weird perversion thing going in Germany, I guess. You know, they had the red light district, but now we're going into Westworld. So now they are getting dolls, and they do whatever they want to them, and they look like people or whatever. It's like, how dark some people go. Like, what even gives you the urge or the inkling to want to hurt somebody in any kind of fantasy or anything? But like, that's their lessons. I just saw this girl yesterday who was talking about this. There's a whole bunch of people talking about past lives, past life connections and stuff. Finally, we got to get more into that, but more of a deeper understanding into it. But anyways, this lady who says she understands, like she can see people and know their past lives or something. Anyways, she, you know, a lot of people are wrapped up in the trial, which yesterday I was going to say, that there was tapes from Prince that they brought out, and he told some stuff, and he was anti the diddler, I guess, a long time. He saw through the bullshit and saw what the music industry was all about. It must have been when he changed his name to the Symbol or something, because there was this like thing, like he was going, and all of a sudden it was like a resistance. Same with Michael Jackson. See, it must be, you know, they're being used, being promoted, but then they start seeing the shenanigans, the bullshit, and then they become resistant. And he had even said, you know, he's doing good, he's not healthy, he's not going to hurt himself and stuff. And then he died, when they said he died of oxys or something like that, I was like, that guy doesn't even do drugs. Like, I don't believe that. So anyways, you know, I mean, if you're not there and you're not in the experience, you don't know all the stuff. So it's just like, but this lady on the past life thing, so Cassie is his girlfriend, and I'm not sure what her deal is. She's some girl, some pretty girl. He always gets these pretty girls around him, and but she, I don't know if she's trying to enter into the music, and they always get them when they're young. And you know, I don't know if she was trying to enter into the music industry and got fucked over, or if she just was happy just to be a girlfriend of somebody. I'm not sure. But so, because her thing started, she was really young, and she was apparently obsessed with this pervy guy who just humiliated her. It's some of this stuff is so disgusting. It's like, I was like, I don't get it. Why do you want to humiliate people? Like, why? Like, ugh. And so this lady, whoever, she's listening to this trial or whatever, and something she said triggered her into this past life thing with them. And it was pretty elaborate, kind of, because she was seeing Diddy was into the human trade situation for the slave trade back in, I don't know, it was, she said it was the early 1800s or something. But at some point in this reality, he was, or in some reality where he was born, if this is all accurate, this is how they work though. Because when she's saying, oh, I could see a past life, it's like every single person out there right now. It's not just like, oh, there's a past life one happened. No, every single person. You're interacting and in transits and stuff with people from past lives. You're here to work on things, and you're bringing up things for each other in this life, but you have a whole bunch of lives with these people, and you've been the bad guy, they've been the bad guy. It's not just one thing. So, uh, but some people are kind of dark characters. I guess when you can see how much darkness somebody can have in it, it's like, I don't know. I mean, all souls are on different levels, I guess, because to me, I don't want to hurt anybody because then it hurts me. It makes me feel bad to hurt other people, so I don't understand that. But so anyways, he was a slave trader, and he was uh, well known in his place, and he had a lot of clients or whatever, and he was he's real, like the same kind of personality, just abusive, and during that time, there was a lot of accepting abuse on women. You know, it's okay to do what you want to them, and especially if they were dark skinned. And I'm not sure. I think he maybe was a white guy in this life because he was, you know, who he was trading. The people were dark, and he was treating them like they were garbage. And see, that is a thing in past life. Then you get to come in and experience whatever you are judging or however your viewpoint is, then you come in and experience. So it's not like, you know, it's like racism is bred into you. You go through all the experiences until you get it, until you see like, oh, it doesn't matter, you know. But anyways, so he was involved with a lot of abuse of women and stuff. And so Cassie in this life, she said, was married. She was white too. She was married to a rich plantation owner, and she didn't like Diddy, and she started talking a lot of shit on him, and so he had her nabbed and murdered her, and it was very violent and stuff. And so that's why the woman said that she felt so possessed by him and stuff. She had all these things to break free from, and that is how that works. These tightly wove uh, entanglements that we have with these souls. And then you come in and you play it in different ways, but then you also have parts of you that come out. So it's like you're battling your own demons. And so he has obviously, you know, that he, if this is true, um, but whoever, you know, when they come in and they're abusive to people, and it's like they don't learn to not be. But then, see, you can go into another life where you're born into being really, really super abused and beat down and stuff. But then also, that doesn't always turn you into the nice guy. Sometimes that turns people into serial killer. So it's, but that's the part where you're going in to discover yourself, to find yourself, to see where are your buttons and which direction do you go. And in me, it all has so much to do with the connecting to yourself, the connecting inside to your soul. Like I said, like you know, like hurting other people is gonna hurt you. And so I don't know, all the different souls and soul groups and stuff are all learning all different stuff. But what that guy had said about the little season or something, that this little season was just the preparation for the main reset, because we're going into this complete change in the energy. And the little season was meant for you to be able to find yourself and heal yourself. That's what I have been saying and saying is the purpose of all this shit. And people get so caught up in the dramas going on that they put their energy towards that instead of they put their energy towards the distraction instead of putting it towards themselves. And that is what is important, is to go in at this time. It's like your soul's opportunity to purge out all this old stuff. And so in some of these little soul interactions and stuff are super intricate. Like whatever you've got going with different ones, you know, you've got to let go of things or work it out or set boundaries. Like there's all sorts of things, and things will come up and then you process through it. It's like, well, is this worth fighting about? Is this really worth an argument? And a lot of them, you know, you already, and I don't know if this is bad or good, that when you can already play them out in your head, but it's because then you are still using expectation, and you are playing it out for the other person, and it may play out different. That's for you to discover. You know, if you feel the motivation to say this or that to somebody, you know, then there's a way it will play out, and it will play out in a way of seeing and learning something. But also, you know, you gotta see what things that it is that you want to I don't know, to me it's kind of like, I don't know, it seemed like everything used to seem like it was important or something to work it out. Now I just look at some of the stuff, it's like, I mean, what is the point? What's the point? Just let people be themselves. Just let people do their thing. When I get triggered, it's like, yeah, it's irritating, but am I going to change this person? Am I going to change it? Am I going to, you know? I mean, there's one thing when you are having to set boundaries, when somebody's being abusive or stepping on you or walking in all over your space or whatever. But it's another thing when they are just like emotionally handicapped them own selves. And then, you know, setting boundaries and telling somebody, you know, get your shit, like, I don't know. Everybody's got to figure out their own trek, you know. To me, though, there's a lot of stuff where it's like, I don't know about that. I'll tell you another thing, though, is if you are a jerry-rigger and you are jerry-rigging one on top of another, if you are doing one on top of another, just add in another. So you fix it, you don't go get supplies, you just, you know, wheel and deal and rig it up, and it works. And then you do that again on top of that, and then you do that again on top of that, and then on top of that. At some point, it becomes a clusterfuck, you know. It's like, you gotta, I would say, if you have jerry-rigged something, and then you're going in for the second, call that good. If that starts falling apart, take the shit down, because once you pile on 3, 4, 5 of these riggins, it's a fucking mess. Like, just take it from somebody who's had to take some of these down and start them over. It's like, oh my Lord, have mercy. Is just and I was thinking too, that is also a point of view, a point of interest, a point of perspective, is knowing that you deserve. And so knowing you deserve things that work right, you know, and I know that is a stressor to a lot of people. Yeah, well, I can't afford it. I can't go buy that. I don't have the money for that. But this is what I have found. When it's things that you need and you're taking care of yourself, you go get it. And so you go get them and you go buy the things and you go fix it. Somehow the universe makes it work. Somehow the money works out. But it is important to put value on you and your stuff. It's one thing, you know, to be efficient and resilient and know how to do things, but then there's also the state of mind that we're moving into towards abundancy and what you deserve. You deserve to have things that aren't broken. You deserve to have things that work good. You don't have to hold on to every little broken thing because you'll never get another one. No, I say you got to let go of the broken shit so that the stuff that works you got to make room for it. You know, if you want a hot tub that works, then get rid of the old broken one. And so the space is ready to be filled. Don't hold on to it and try and piece it together and stuff. And so, I don't know. It's just the way I've been kind of looking at things lately and seeing things. You know, and we're always in this flux of expansion of seeing things different. So you could see things one way one day and then turn around and see them totally different the next day. So it's, this is a period of time of expansion, of education, of, kind of like reliving, because it's remembering. So you're just like, you're reliving yourself and understanding yourself in a new way. And that is what everything is all about. And everything in this realm is so set up or meant to be obstacles in you being able to find yourself or understand yourself. There's like a lot of resistance or interference in this game, in this vibration. And so it's a lot to overcome. But always, always, it's the connection inside of you. That's where you're going to find your truth. That's where you're going to find your peace of mind. And anytime you find yourself doing things that aren't in alignment with you, but you continue to do them because you're taking orders, you're getting a paycheck, it's because you have to, you're always, well, at this point in our evolution, you are going to question yourself, because your soul is going to be questioning you. Like, why are you doing these things? So that you can discover yourself and your own patterns and your own, it's your own obstacles. That's why I keep hearing loud. So anyways, but everything is about like not letting the obstacles overcome you. You overcoming the obstacles is this time right now of expansion. So of this evolution, this change, but there's so many people who aren't focused on it. But we're coming closer and closer to whatever it is that's gonna rock our worlds, which now on CNN on the ticker tape, they're saying that there's about to be this volcano that's about to blow. The scientists are saying it can go at any moment over the next few weeks. They're expecting it to go. And this huge volcano is what's going to cause the 10,000 earthquakes, which they said were just going to be, what is the word? I can't believe it. It was just like what came again. Why am I keep blocking this word? But so there's going to be all of these, a swarm of tornadoes, a swarm of earthquakes. Oh. So a swarm of earthquakes, like 10,000. There's people saying you better watch the Madrid one. Madrid one is over there where where the Mississippi is supposed to split. So I agree, like that is in the map. So yeah, shit is gonna split over there. Things are gonna get rocking and rolling, that's for sure. And the West Coast too. The West Coast is gonna get blasted. So, and who knows how big or bad it's really going to be, or if it's just going to be the start, and it's just going to be kind of the motivator to kind of get us to move inland and stuff. I'm not sure. We'll have to see. There's definitely going to be some disasters involved with it. So that is one thing. I saw another guy who this was part one, and I don't know how many parts he had, but it was this prophetic meditation or dreaming or something like that. And I only saw the first one, and he said that it's going to be seven levels, 7 different kind of things. And the one, he said, is going to be a money thing, and it's going to be really, really hard hitting in a certain area. And he said that when it hits, it's going to seem like disaster. And he said, if you got 401, anything that you have to spend right now, go spend it. Don't be thinking it's going to be sitting there. If you have 401k or whatever, like I've been saying, you got to get some solid asset, because we're going into solid asset. And so and I don't know about the whole housing market and how, if that is because it's going to fall. else is gonna all fall flat. So you invest into certain things and it's gonna disintegrate. And so, then you don't have that money is, anyways, there's gonna be a lot of changes. And and there's also going to be money that's going to be coming back to us. So everything is going to work itself out, but it's going to be dramatic. And so, anyways, he said that it will be something with some kind of, with whatever's going on right now. So he said it's going to seem bad, but it's really going to turn into something good. And he said that it is, it's like so the dollar can crash, but it has to do with the trade and us becoming independent in industry, and then we are going to start our own, he said, crypto thing, which the quantum money is a crypto thing, but it's also asset backed. You don't get, it's not pretend, but it's not the it's just going to be different. I don't know. It's going to be different because there's still going to be money, but I don't think we're all going to be like just carrying around silver and shit, because that is, it used to be coins that were a dime or whatever. It was a measurement of how much the silver valued. And so all the different money, it had the value of the silver in the coin by the weight of the coin. And so you had to carry around pockets of silver or gold or whatever. And even when I was younger, before they took us off the gold standard, it was like that. That's when they started changing all of the coins and stuff, the money. That's why I guess the certain monies have more value of old ones, but then also they repressed the money. So I don't know how many dimes are real silver, quarters or nickels or whatever anymore. But it used to be. So anyways, I don't know now. But he said that it's going to, so when something crashes, like, I don't know, it kind of was giving me the idea of like this car manufacturing thing and a whole city being built around it with jobs and stuff, and then something crashes. And if it goes like that, it would be something with the corporation going down. And they're being swallowed from every way because they're overextended. It's like two corporations own everything through all of their extensions. So anything falling over here is going to affect them all. So they're all going to be falling. They're all going to fall apart. There's going to be tons of class action lawsuits. There's going to be tons of change. And, the corporation's fallen. That's the beast. And so so he said whatever goes with this thing, then the money crashes and it seems horrible, but then we're going to start our own, and then we are going to kind of lead this certain direction. All I know is that the money is definitely changing. We're definitely going on to this other thing. And he said that when this happens, that he said it's right now the banks are trying to hold it together. He said there's something about the banks are going to try and get money to hold it together, but it's not going to work or something. And the banks are going to crash. And when they crash, it's taking all the loans with it. There will be no loans. So there's a lot of stuff he said that I know is for sure is going to be coming. So, anyways, he made like that is coming soon. So there's so many different things, because then there's people saying like, well, we got these nuke threats and stuff. So that can be a big thing that's going to go down. Is there's lots of people who don't realize like they can't really do that because it affects too many different realities. So that scares people. They don't realize like, no, they'll come in and stop those things. They can't do it. And which there's people saying that that's when the call went out into the universe, was after Hiroshima, and then it was such a blast that affected so many different realities and realms that the universe was the call to have the Earth needs to be rescued. And that's when all of these different souls all started being born, the first wave, second wave, third wave, to come in and change the direction of where we're going. But it's weird because how things are always going to be the way they're going to be, but then we're also in the part where they become what they are. So it's weird because it all depends on where and how you look at something. But anyways, so it's going to go into where it is that we're going. We're splitting, we're pulling. That higher vibration is pulling free from the lower vibration. And so we're in the process of that. And that's also why you have to be willing to look at yourself and see your own darkness. Otherwise, you're just held back by it. It just keeps you trapped. And you're going to feel more tired. You're going to feel more worn out. You're going to feel more sickly. And anytime you're feeling worn out and sick and stuff like that, it's because you're, you need communication. You need to take a break. You need to sit down. You need to take time to yourself so that your soul can communicate to you and give you influence, give you direction. And so that is, what I think of as a period of time of reflection. Some people look at it as meditation, look at it as downloading, look at it as plugging in, as, recharging yourself. But anyways, you got to figure out your process in order to let go of this artificial dark world that we have found ourselves in. And, so, let me think if I finished that, because I want to talk about this movie that I saw yesterday. It was, let's see, because the one with the girl, reality winner, she, that was like total disclosure. One thing too that she said, and I've said this so many times to my mom, because she keeps being like, well, you just got to do what you have to do. That's just what we have to do. Well, that's how we have to, you have to do what's expected or whatever. And then I keep saying, no, we have to stop. We have to make change. If we want things to change, we have to change them. We have to be uncomfortable. We have to push for change. We can't just keep doing it because we're supposed to. We have to change it. And that is what that girl said too. Sometimes you have to go in and create the change that you want. And that is, but there's so many people, like, that's a part of our societal norms of just becoming so passive. But that is where you're going against your own soul, and you're going to become more depressed and down and disconnected and disassociated from yourself. So that's what we have going with so many people. That's why there's so much fucking misery, so much pain and misery in this world, because the people are so disconnected from themselves. But in the process of connecting to yourself, you also have to recognize the dark parts of yourself. And so anyway, and find your own balance in there. But anyways, so that movie had disclosure. Then I watched, oh yeah, okay. So then I watched this movie yesterday. It was called Death of a Unicorn. And it had Paul Rudd in it. And it had this girl, like, I cannot believe all these movies that I have put on has the same girl in it. They do this all the time. They find somebody and then they just push them. I don't know, they get this 3, 5, 6 movie deal. And so then they're just on, in everything. And it's like, what are you trying to, like, are you trying to steal this person's soul? Are you trying to get them to trust you and make them feel like, oh, I don't know. There's something weird about it. But anyways, it's this girl who's in it. I've seen 3 movies over the past few days, and she's been in all these movies. Well, she wasn't in the one. I didn't finish this other one, but I'll tell you about it in a sec. But, and what is also weird is I felt so much like my algorithm, my guidance, was pushing me to go on to Plex to see this stuff. Like YouTube, like everything I'd put on, it was just like, there was nothing I could find. And I kept feeling drawn to go onto Plex. And so then when I put it on, and it was all these new movies, and I was like, oh my God. And as soon as you start watching them, I just can't even get over some of this disclosure shit. So, this one, Death of a Unicorn. So, as Paul Rudd, so then I'm thinking, this is just going to be silly, dumb humor, stupid. And, that's all fine and good sometimes, but it's not like, I don't like to just watch dumb humor. And it seemed to really start so much in the 90s, but I don't know. I mean, maybe the Brady Bunch had a laugh track too. I just remember that once I realized that there was this laugh track, that they'd say stupid ass shit, and then they'd have the fucking fake ass audience laugh at it. That annoyed the fuck out of me, and it became so much on all of these serial shows. Is that what they were called? Serials or something? It was like shows that were on TV all the time. And so there was all these shows that were on TV. And everybody would sit down and watch these shows. And sponsors. The sponsors, the commercials. And then I was just thinking, when there were sponsors all the time, were they having all the commercials? When did we just go into just commercials? God, I remember when commercials would come on, I thought they were the stupidest fucking shit. Just selling us shit all the time. But anyways, so when I would watch this stuff, these laugh tracks, that started annoying the fuck out of me. I don't remember how old I was, but I was like, oh my God, it's so annoying. And they try to, I think there's laugh tracks on Friends, all these fucking shows. There was no longer studio audiences that were sitting there laughing. They were directing us as to what was funny and what wasn't funny. And I don't know, it annoyed me, and stupid humor annoyed me. And then I went through lots of movies, a period of moviedom that was all just stupid humor, bro. I felt like it was trying to make us stupider, make us think that stuff, like, I don't know, like they were creating idiocracy, is how I kept looking at it. Like, were they trying to make us all just a bunch of dummies or something? And, so anyways, but I like some stupid, like I watch some of these movies, like I like Paul Rudd, but when I saw him as the person in the movie, I was like, I don't know if I feel like watching stupid shit. And so it wasn't what I thought it was gonna be. I mean, there's like, it has some scenes where it's like, Jesus, Paul, what are you turning into a serial killer, you weirdo? So, maybe that's where they all want the challenge. Like, well, I want to be a killer. I want to be real dark. I want to see how dark can I get in these movies. It's like the same as these people in Germany who want to go get these dolls. How dark can you go? You fucking weirdos. So, anyways, in this, movie, Death of a Unicorn, total fucking disclosure. Oh my fucking God, I cannot fucking believe it. Especially with all this shit going on with the mermaids and shit, and more coming out about the supernatural, and these fucking vamps. They are, oh yeah, because they, like I call them, I don't know what else to call them, because they live off of our blood and organs and shit like that. They don't fucking age. They just are relic, I don't know, just old fucking people who, so anyways, those people, and they aren't, because if we did the hierarchy, so we got the vamps, they would be up at the fucking top of the cherry Sunday. They're their own thing. They are around for a long time, so they have got control over this realm, over this world where we are, because we are in this like science lab world, and so we came here to be a part of this grand experiment. And then I think it's always a challenge to find ourselves. But anyways, so the vamps are up here, but they can't run everything. They can't do everything. So they got to find the people who are the darkest to follow their orders. And so that's why we're run by gangsters and terrorists and stuff like that, because that's who will do their dirty work. So then that's the next realm. Those are the ones, like I had said, like on the plantation, or when they were colonizing, when they were sending over the colonizer people, were part of them were the people who were trying to escape. Think about those people of being the Appalachian people, the people who were trying to escape, who went and hid in the mountains. And then these people, the Church and the Crown, going after them and getting pissed and battling them, and then starting their own little world with the clone babies and all that shit. And so then they put the so then they start infiltrating, and then you have all these tribes and stuff, these old tribes around, just groups of people just living off the land, living in groups and just doing their thing. And they've been living that way for a long, long time. Well, they come and they start attacking them, and they also want to attack the ones that have escaped them, and they're in the mountains. And then so they infiltrate, and on part of their infiltration too was sending criminals over to fight the people in the tribes and stuff. And so then to harness them and get control over them and stuff, then they move them up onto the horses. They move them up into the hierarchy, so they're not on their feet, they're a little higher, and then they can do a beat down on the people on their feet. So, but they aren't the ones in charge. That's the illusion, because they are just other slaves to the system. So, and the people over them, they aren't even to the role of the gangster. They're still in the knee break, but they don't really have power, not to the point of where you start being in politics and stuff like that. And those people all have to be handled and stuff. Like, you can't just be a good person and get into that stuff, because the vamps, they aren't going to allow that, because they have dirty work to get done, and it's not to help elevate us. Everything is about them. And so so and you think, because in this movie, the that's the thing, is like a lot of these owners of the corporation, see, some of the blue bloods say they aren't all the originals, but there's like people who have done the dirty work, like they're willing to go to darker places. So anyways, I'll just tell you about this movie. You can put the pieces together yourself. I won't tell you. I'll just tell you about what this movie was about. So, Paul Rudd and his daughter, because his wife's dead. So his daughter, teenage girl, who looks, like a tough girl or whatever, but she's been through a hard time. She's really a maiden in her heart, and she's full of virtue and peace and love or whatever. So she's the vibration. But appearances would make you think, oh, she's a dark vibration. But no, she's a higher vibration. And that is one of the parts of the illusion that's going to be seen here soon, too, is that the darker, that's going to become more clear to people. Anyways, so Paul Rudd is a lawyer, and he is going for the weekend to go meet these billionaire people who own a lab. So they own, a big one. And they are doing experiments or whatever. So he's got to go way out. So he's going way, way out in the mountains to go and find these castle that these people live in. And he drives through all of this, and there's a part where it says endangered species or something, I think, on his sign. And he's just crazy, trying to make money, arguing with his daughter, and trying to get his calls, and his calls aren't working. He's speeding through the mountains, and so he hits something, and when he hits it, then they have to get out and go see what it is, and then they can't wrap their heads around it, so they start making excuses, but the thing seems to be dying. And so this is where Paul Rudd goes dark. Oh, man. It's like not something I expected to ever see, him fucking killing something with like brutal. And so I don't know, maybe he's been brutal in other movies and I just missed him. I don't know. It was brutal. And so he's going to put this thing out of his misery, this unicorn. So it's a unicorn he's hit. And the girl, she goes up and she touches the unicorn thing. The horn starts like doing some kind of light thing, so she touches it, and then it takes her into another world. It's like a portal almost, and it takes her into another experience, kind of like where the guy who was talking about when he ate the mermaid, how it took him into this other experience. So she touches this thing and it takes her into these other realms, which when she's moving through the realms, that is what it's like. Like they did do some stuff in this movie that really showed like more of what space is like and moving through realms real quick and stuff. So anyways, she touches it, and so she has this big experience and connects to it. And so then she starts doing research. So they go to this rich people's place. These people are so fucking out of touch, so snobby, so, they're irky. And so, he's trying to just get them to sign on. He just wants their big old money check and to represent this lab. And, so he's pulling out contracts, trying to get them to sign, and it's just all this snooty, just fucking bullshit. And the girl, though, she's going and trying to, this unicorn thing has really got her. So they had picked up the dead unicorn and put it in the back of the car. And so they're in here having this thing with these rich people. Well, something's going on in the car, of course, and somebody sees, and it turns into this whole thing, and the daughter starts going and doing this research about unicorns and where they come from and stuff, and she found this old ancient Spanish medieval tapestries that told a story from the 1600s of the unicorns being beat down in the fight that they had to do, and the maiden helping, like this whole thing where they were having to battle the humans or something. And so she starts trying to tell him the story. Well, the lab people, the rich people, they just they've got all these scientists, science mind people out there trying to figure out things about this creature. And so they decide that the horn is a organ, and they need to take this parts of this organ and test it. So the rich old man, he's fucking decrepit, of course, and a relic. And then he gets the shavings off of the horn reliquidated into his IV. And of course, he wakes up younger. And then they want to, it was like, in the conversations, I didn't completely focus on it, but it was, clear. I don't know. I kept on thinking about elephant tusks, too. And, but it was like they knew the magic. They needed to get it, and they'll fight these ancient beings or whatever in order to get their essence and to steal what's theirs and make it into theirs. kind of like what I'm saying, like what they do to us, like these vamps. They steal our blood and our organs and shit like that. And this guy, the gravedigger, he's doing more videos still. And so, and he's talking to more people and stuff. So now there's more to this whole thing with the embalming, because then they are selling the blood. So that's some shit. Like, they tell us, oh no, people need to be embalmed. Oh no, they're just trying to refill you because they sold all the stuff that was inside you because these fucking vamps need it to fucking keep going. Like, they drain all the. It's weird, man. But then when you see, you know, what they're willing to do, and there's the whole thing is about this lab and getting this creature and doing all this testing and taking and stealing its essence and keeping it for the, you know, the high and mighty. I mean, for those of us who would ever want a unicorn horn pill, you know, that cost us $100 million. But see, this is how these relics keep on going. They keep stealing. And it was right there in the movie. And I know that, I mean, I don't know that they're going and stealing unicorn horns, but they're definitely whatever that they can find that they can use. Like, I don't think that it's by accident that giants have turned into Himalayan salt caves. And so it's like they just take and take and take and take and take. So anyways, but I know that they do. The mystical creatures are out there, and that they have an awareness of it, and that they are stealing from all the living creatures, because they steal from us too. So anyways, the links, the labs will go, the dishonor, it's so it's like so against Mother Nature or something. It's like to take and take and take and take and take. And so anyways, but that's what the lab and the corporation's all about. And it is all about all this corruption. And then the other one, so then I was like looking for another movie. I was like, man, and I was watching some trailers where I was like, God, I swear to God, everything is just disclosure. But so there was this other one, I started trying to watch it, but it was too wacky, and I couldn't. And it had Jack Black and was it Jason Momoa and a few other people. It's kind of weird. Like Jason Momoa, he just is, he's kind of like how the girls that were just thought of being pretty and just get parts because they're pretty, and then they want more substance, and their idea is to ugly themselves up so that they can show what good actresses they are or something. So I don't know if he is one of those, like, he just gets the roles of being the big hunky guy, and he's like, hey, I can do more. I'm funny. Because Channing Tatum did that same thing too, and he went, well, I don't know. Some of these people, they're sell out points in their careers and shit, and they go dark and do weird shit. So I don't know, but anyways, and they also did that with The Rock. Was The Rock ever in anything serious? I don't think he ever played any hunky guys. Jason Momoa, yeah, they made him. He was off of Game of Thrones. Wasn't he the hunky guy that Darius was married to, or whatever her name was? The Dragon Queen, in her marriage of whatever, a couple hours or whatever it was. Wasn't that her fella? And then all the girls went crazy for him, and then he started getting more parts. But anyways, now he's just, I don't know, playing the slap happy guy, whatever. So this movie is kind of a lot of silliness. But the thing that I thought was true was because it's different realms. and how it's real easy to slip through a portal and go into a different realm and go into a whole different world. And I also thought it was kind of funny how when they went into this other one, because Jack Black went into it first, and he had found a cube. He found a cube and another, it was like these two crystals that fit together in a cube or something. And that opened the portal. So then he went into this, but it was like cartoon world. That's what I keep on saying. It seems like to me, like, yeah, we went through this black and white era, and then we went into like the color, the yeah, the talkies, the movie, like the movies represent, and but we're going into this like more cartoonish kind of world. It's more vivid, more cartoonish, more colorful, and sometimes the way the light, the sun is hitting, it is weird how the colors. Oh my God, it's weird. It changes like the whole color scheme outside, and it goes through a lot of different ones here. Like, I'm not even shitting you when I say we have like these layers of the sky. It's weird. And so the way the sun will come sometimes, and it'll be like this really dark and dreary and rusty kind of color outside, and then it will all of a sudden turn, and it will be like, I don't know, like the LED light is hitting off of everything different, and it becomes, it's just really weird looking. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's not, everything looks unnatural to me. And but that is kind of the same thing with going into this cartoon kind of world. The color, it's like the color kind of changes. So when I keep seeing the color change out there, I keep thinking, yeah, it's like we're going into this cartoon world. But that's how I see it. Is it was going from the black and white, and it is, I don't know, very controlled kind of moral kind of way that they were trying to control us or handicap us or something. I don't know, everything's about control. And then we thought we were going into this like growth period towards technology and stuff, but it's all very controlled. The technology is about to make us more have a deficit. It's not to really help us, but then people become kind of dependent on it, so they kind of handicap themselves in their development stages, and they become, yeah, just lazier and stupider off of the how we are having the technology be. And so it is, but I see it more of this movie, this color, you know, we went from the black and white movies into this color movies, but it still is like this stagnation. And but we're gonna zap over into this more, it's like a more festive, more vibrant, more vivid, and this looks so materialistic and dark, kind of like I keep seeing like a Norman Rockwell painting or something, like it was a representative of a time, an age, a period of time of how we were, and but we're changing out of it. And so it looks to me really old-fashioned, kind of like this kind of primitive, kind of like this movie that we're in is kind of like the old style or something, even though it's color. And it seems like, you know, it's such an advancement from the black and white, but it still isn't to the point where we're going, where it's going to be way more like magical. And so that is what I think. That's how I see it. And it's weird how the movie's going to represent through that too. But totally, it is like this era, this time is like this movie. And then when you watch old movies too, and you watch like some from the 70s or whatever, and it's almost like the movie is kind of going away or something off of the film. The film is so dodgy. It's so, like, you can't, some of them, it's weird. It's like you can barely see the movie on the film. And so it's like that. It's like that is the world that we're in right now. It's like this evaporation of this period of time, confirmation. And but we're going in, that's the quantum leap into this period of like this cartoon exciting, like I see it. Yeah, I see it like, like you're out running and all of a sudden it's like, well, I'd rather be driving, and all of a sudden you're driving. It's like like how cartoons were, and it's also like you get hit by a bus and you go down, but then all of a sudden you remember like, oh, that doesn't hurt me, and you bounce back up. Just like in cartoons. Like there's something very distinct and magical that is going to be in our world coming up. And I don't know what, maybe that has to do with the quantum theory and the jumping timelines and just, well, I didn't want to die then. I'm just going to zoom over here and go over there. But that is going into this whole other realm, this whole other world. It may be what we're meant to find, but right now, during this time, we're meant to find ourselves. We're not meant to close our eyes to ourselves, to distract ourselves, to keep a blind eye on ourselves so that we never see our true selves. We're meant to really take a hard look at ourselves and see ourselves in a very distinct way. Instead of looking at the germs and the little bugs that are crawling all over us, instead it's looking at the depth to our persona, depth to our soul. That's what we're supposed to be looking at. And you can't look into yourself without seeing a lot of shit, man. That's, it's about your soul's journey. It's about who you've been and who you're becoming. And it's the development. And, I keep saying it, that's what everything is about in this period of time. And they've got so many people focused on so many other things, trying to find the right job, trying to find the right home, trying to find this, trying to find that, when this is the period of time of letting go of things, just letting go. Even if it's, big money, like mine isn't even big money, but there was a lot of stuff from when I left that I've had to let go of, and it crosses my mind. It's not just like you just let go and it's just like gone. No, it crosses my mind. It'll give me a sad feeling. I'll get different feelings about the different things, and but there's so much about just letting go. It's like the end of an era. You can't take what was from one thing into the next. You got to rebuild for what's coming. Kind of like in that movie, the Jack Black one, the Minecraft too. Because he was like, everything in that he could build anything he wanted in this new reality. Anything that he could think of, he could build it. But it just had to be out of blocks, out of squares or something. And so it's kind of like that. Like all of the tools, everything that you had developed in this one era is what you have to let go of to go into the new one, because you need new things. It's different blocks. It's a different existence. So it is letting go of a lot of the things that you had. And one thing that always kind of was like a master mind thing to me was when you die, you can't take it with you. And it's crazy how much we hold on to stuff, but it's like you can't take it with you. You can't take, there's none of this shit you can take with you. So it's I don't know, it's kind of like an expansion of that perception in this period of time. Like, well, I can't take it with me. And we're going into this different time, and it's weird because this different time is going to be giving back to us in a way that we've never experienced. But like I said, you need to open up places that it can give back to you. You can't just hold on to all this old stuff and think that it's going to come in and move it out of the way. No, you have to like move out the old broken shit and think like, I deserve some good stuff, man. I fucking work hard on myself. I give out, like what your real value is like the love that you put out. And so what you put out will come back to you, especially in this world. Like, I don't know about in this other one. It was so much stuff about lessons and stuff. And it can be, this is our grand finale. We're going to go through all this releasing, all these lessons, and then we do go into this higher dimensional, into the heavens where we just quantum jump. We don't have problems anymore. We don't have to deal with that. We just jump over it. We just quantum over there, quantum over here. And we just jump around like fucking frogs. I don't know. But we're definitely at this point of where we are. What we're leaving from is definitely about lessons and growth and stages of development and stuff. And you can see it in all the factors of all the different people and all the mind control and all of the... It is so much like in the Matrix and stuff, where you have all these people that were just plugged in. They're just plugged in. And they're lost in themselves because they're just plugged into this other world. But this is where everybody's going to see. This is the transformation. But you have to be willing to transform yourself. You have to be willing to work on yourself in order to become who it is you want to be. And going into the new world. But just like... in the Minecraft thing, and also in the Unicorn movie, when she was going through all of these realities really quick, and it just looks like a kaleidoscope, kind of like you're just moving fast. But then also in the Minecraft one, where it was like there's a lot of different there's lots of different realms and realities out there available. And so wherever it is that you go is what your experience is. It can be a whole bunch of different ones, and you can go into different ones, and it can be like time travel and stuff. So anyways, but there's lots of different dimensions and realities available. So that's why I said, it's not like the only one. There's only one. It's like all these people. There's only one God. There's only one reality. There's only one this. And no, there's zillions. There's zillions of gods. You choose, you want to worship somebody and put somebody over you. And then you want to take a knee to their teachings and stuff. Then, you got to think about what is the energy behind it. You got to look deeper into it. Don't just be a blind follower. And then and that has so much to do with so many lessons, I think. That's a big pattern that we seem to be breaking free from as humans, following, just being a part of these different things. Which, another thing that I just find weirder and weirder, because now in the Diddy trial or something, he had his way with Steve Lawrence, and then Steve Lawrence was being blackmailed, that he was going to be told on, he's gay. And you just think of like all these guys doing all this gay sex that are trying to pretend like they're womanizing pigs, that they don't do gay stuff. And then all of this stuff starts coming out, and we got all these pedos and all these gay guys, and they all like ramming each other. Then it is but the thing that gets me is just like the same thing with Michael. It's like, you're not living your truth. So how can you sit here and say like, oh yeah, I support the LGBTQs and all that stuff, when you're not living your truth? You're not being honest. You're not saying, oh, I'm also one of them. I also do this. I'm also, trans. I'm also gay. No. You pretend like they are and you're not. But you guys are the ones that are setting out the ripple into the fucking collective. I swear to God, I just think it's so weird. It's like, why, but now on this leaked podcast where Michael does say, as a gay black man, I really appreciate that. And because you got to be able to fucking speak your truth. You can't just, you're never going to be happy if you're going around pretending to be something you're not in order to make other people happy. You're going to find yourself fucking miserable as fuck. So, and then when you're always trying to hide from a lie, I was something that I also, ever since I was a kid, I couldn't see the point of lying. And well, I had a mom who also did the beat down on the fucking shit. We were told every day, I swear to God, the biggest pieces of shit in the world were liars. And so that was like ingrained into my brain. But then once I started going out in the world and started dealing with liars, and started seeing, the world of the liars. Well, my dad, I don't even know how much did he lie. I mean, maybe my mom and his relationship was built on a lot of lies. No, I wasn't drinking. I don't know. Because to me, all the shit was obvious. But we weren't questioning him, so I don't know if that's why she was all on the liars. I don't know what her thing was, but it was, liars are the biggest pieces of shit. And so then when I went out in the world and started dealing with people and they're fucking lying and shit. And it was like, how, and then they try and keep it straight. It was like, I don't understand what is the point of lying when you got to keep all this stuff straight? Lies are always going to catch up with you. They're always going to find you. It's just the karmic reaction in the world. It's going to expose. You're going to be exposed at some point. And usually, if you're not the one exposing it, then it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be like, you're not going to like it. And so, yeah, now this thing. But it wasn't, or was that Martin Lawrence? Is there two, Steve Lawrence and Martin Lawrence? There's two Lawrences? Am I getting them mixed up? But Steve Lawrence, I know he was the one, because he got a talk show. What is that? Always throw him a talk show? Keep him quiet and throw him a talk show? Drew Barrymore gets a talk show? I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, but I think it's Martin Lawrence is the one that they said he's gone. I don't think it's Steve Lawrence. I think it's Martin Lawrence. That he died, but he wanted his clone to continue. But now his family's not happy with the clone because it's not exactly like him or something. I don't know. There's so much weird shit out here. But there's so much shit just is going to keep leaking out and more stuff coming and coming and coming. And there's way more with the clones. Like, that's a real thing. Like, they're definitely... I think that there's something behind us where we all have like 4 or 5 lookalikes. It's because we all came from the fucking same tube. So, anyways, I don't know. I'm seeing like a bunch of the stuff kind of faster, like the wrap up. But anyways, this world is run by this hierarchy, and the hierarchy is kind of like how rotten you'll go, but there's also this rotten, like, it's like it's weird because it's like these people are rotten, but it's like confirmation. It's like they are rotten because they're different kind of beings. They're not the same as us. But then they turn other beings that are the same as us. They turn them dark. Well, that is where they find it kind of humorous. Kind of like they don't have emotions like us, but it is very like it's a disgust, kind of like it's a joke. It's kind of like, I don't know, go listen to Rabbi Finkelstein's fucking rant, and just that vibe. That's the vibe. I'm like, yeah, they're so disgusting. Look at the fucking golem. Look what they'll do. They'll hurt each other. They're easily led. greedy. Keeps being such weird noises. It was a loud noise, but then I think, okay, well, is that the cats? But then sometimes it starts being more noises. And then, I don't know. Everything is weird. Everything is weird. Just weird. Everything's weird. There's probably just creatures all sitting around us all the time, fucking with us. So, anyways, let me think. Was there anything else I was gonna say? So now it sounds like a helicopter. There's been so many helicopters. It seems unnatural to me. Like, I don't know what the fuck is always going on. Can you hear it? Maybe it's chasing a spacecraft. Surely you guys can hear that. It's really loud. But everything's loud to me. Fucking sounds are so fucking loud. And then plus I can feel it. I can feel like the vibration of the helicopter going through my body. It's weird. It's getting really close. I can't see out those little windows. Who knows what the fuck? Who knows what the fuck is going on? But it's got to be getting close. There's so much shit building up to whatever is gonna go, and and I hope. I mean, where Crystal in the comments, she was like, fuck, she's so ready to. And hopefully it's not like it's just gotten us so drug out, so we're just all ready, so that whatever horrible devastation happens, that we're just like, oh, well, we had to get to the other side. I don't know. That's the thing is, this place is dark, it is decrepit, and it's like the little devil minions or something do like to see this dark side of us come out. But just remember, you're not just dark. They're just dark. They can't find the light inside them. We have the light inside of us, and we can find it, and we can find balance, and we can become who we want to become. We aren't trapped into being who we think we are. We're not trapped by their mind control. The only way you can stay trapped is allowing yourself to stay trapped. And right now, there's a lot of that. And they have people really trapped in some deep traps right now. And so it's going to be interesting to watch the people get out of these traps, to watch the traps fall apart, and then what the people do in order to step out. Because it's going to be a lot of healing. It's going to be a lot of healing coming up here in the future. And that's going to be the biggest thing. So whatever's going to start happening, it's going to lead us into a different way of being, because we're going to make a different priorities. We're going to care more. We're going to be ready to put a different part of ourselves out there. The priorities and everything in our existence is going to be changing into a higher vibration, it's just going to be more palatable. It's going to be a better place. It's going to be not so dark and dreary and nasty and disgusting and people peeing in each other's faces and shit. It's like the degrading world. Fucking green sliming so you can have poop drip off their faces and blood. Like, what the fuck are these fucking weirdos? Oh my god damn. This fucking place. But anyways, we all know that. We're the light. So we'll just move towards the light. Move towards your inner knowing. Move towards who you really are. I think that was a cat scream. Everything is so fucking intense, man. So just remember, through all this intensity, what we're here to do is discover ourselves, to develop ourselves, to become the best version of yourself. And that doesn't mean that that's where you're going to be stuck, because the universe is ever expanding. Wherever you get yourself, you're just going to go up. So just learning how to love yourself is the way to go. Oh, wait a second, because I was about to skip over some business. Better keep up with this. Gotta be crystal clear on there. And the tooth, last night it looked like now it seems like it's getting lighter again. It just goes through these stages. It's all I can see. And it's definitely this hole is getting less holy. So, anyways, but remember what we're doing here is learning how to love ourselves, learning how to love everybody, and how to have the loving day, the best day, the day that you want to have. It's the day you want to have. Is where you focus your energy. So, anyways, we'll talk about it again tomorrow, because what else are we going to do? Until shit goes down. We'll just keep talking about it. So, talk to you later. Bye.